What are these weird semicircle wires with various beads on a wooden plank found in an old house? It's about 12 inches long, 1 inch thick, and 7 inches tall. It works kinda like an abacus, but circular and not with 10. The base and inner beads are wooden, and I think the outer beads are plastic and metal. What is it? It's a Himalayan calendar, a perpetual display of the day, month, and year, and it can be reused year after year. The outer ring has 12 balls, each corresponding to a month. The next two rings have a tens and ones digit. The tens has 3 balls 4 up to the 31st, and the next has 9 balls for 0 to 9, and then 4 rings for the year up to 9999. The date as it reads there on the left is March 34th 4444. And yes, it's possible to make incorrect dates. I spotted this large metal bowl in the storage section of the Bristol M Shed Museum. The tour guide did not know what it was, and neither did anyone else in the group. It's a thin metal object roughly 1 meter in diameter, with a large circular opening at the top. It did not make a melodic sound when hit, so it doesn't seem to be a bell of some sort. There were pipes beneath the object, but it's unclear if they are related to the item. What is this thing? That's a locomotive safety valve dome. It looks identical to the one on the Bristol Harbour Railway. It's a vessel fitted to the top of the boiler of a steam engine. It contains the opening to the main steam pipe, and its purpose is to allow this opening to be kept well above the water level in the boiler. What is this small and heavy object with an oblong hole and a small hook in the center of the hole? I work for a museum, and one of the lessons we have for students is observation and inference. This is one of the items they are supposed to make observations on. At the end of the lesson, we tell them the identity of the various mystery items, but we don't know what this thing is. It's very solid, thick, and heavier than it looks. Can you help me? I believe that is the weight part of an Edison diamond disc reproducer, 1915 model. I used to be an antique dealer. I also used to collect wind-up phonographs. I never had an Edison one, but I knew of them. What is this 5-inch round object found while digging in Macedonia? The front has a raised pattern and feels like some sort of metal, maybe brass or copper. The back has 2 bars across, some sort of a clasp. It has been in the family for a while. Any ideas? It's half of an Ottoman-era woman's belt buckle. Similar buckles are common in women's traditional dress throughout the Balkans, in Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Greece. These were part of the decor on some women's ethnic costumes, made by the Ottoman style and influence in the 19th century. I know what it is because I used to collect these. Super cool find indeed. What is this cylindrical-ish glass with metal casing marked with Roman numerals and threading at the base? My Google image search was fruitless. It was found in a box with some antique objects. There isn't anything inside the glass, so despite its bulb-like shape, I don't think it's a light bulb. And why the Roman numerals? Any ideas? It's a bulb from an 18th century oil lamp clock. The Roman numerals marked 1 to 12 on the pewter strap served as a clock. As the level in the reservoir dropped, it provided a rough measure of the passage of time. Lamps or candles burning fuel at a steady pace fit this category, and as a bonus produce useful light. What is this green metal box with chemistry things inside, found in an ex-Soviet country? About 30 centimeters long and 13 centimeters tall, and about 70 years old from what I understand. I'm not sure about the text because everything was in Russian. I tried to find it with keywords such as Soviet chemistry set from 1950 with no luck. What is it for? It's a Czechoslovak army chemical detection kit from the 1950s. It was used for the detection of chemical warfare agents. On top, it says for the determination of mustard gas and nitrogen mustard and water. What is this giant tower in a small town in Quebec, Canada? It has windows on the side, and it can't be much wider than a staircase. It is connected to a tiny house labeled fire station. There isn't any bigger building around related to the fire service. The town itself is an old establishment with repurposed buildings. The one in the background seems to have been a primary school and got transformed into a house. Any ideas? It's a hose tower, a structure constructed for hanging fire hoses to dry. Hose towers have been features of some fire station designs in Canada, Germany, and the United States. The purpose of such towers was to hang and dry canvas hoses, slowing the deterioration caused if the hoses were not dried thoroughly. What is this small silver ring attached to a hammered bowl, found in an old house in Ireland? It's pretty heavy. The overall length is 4.5 centimeters or 1.75 inches. I can put it on the second knuckle on my pinky finger. Any ideas? It's a caretaker's feeding spoon from the 1910s. Looks a bit large for a baby, but would be good sized for helping feed an elderly or bedridden person. We have some old family ones that look like that. What is this thing I found washed up on a beach in France? It looked like a very old flask, wrapped in heavy cloth and twine with some kind of outer casing, which had been mostly lost to the ocean. Any ideas? It's a World War I German Model 13 rifle grenade. You need to call the police to send the bomb squad down to have a look at it. It was the first of a series of grenades developed in Germany, intended to be launched using the Mauser infantry rifle armed with blank ammunition. The main problem with this model was its very aerodynamic design, which made it too effective a projectile, causing it to sink deep into the ground before explosion with lesser effects. I found this hidden in the ceiling of my basement with a bunch of others, made out of glass and appears to have some sort of tape or paper border around it. When shining a light through, it doesn't project a clean image. These look more like stained glass. No descriptive text or anything on the pieces themselves. The only other information I can think to include is that my house is about 100 years old. What are these things? They are magic lantern glass slides. I worked for 2.5 years in a digital preservation department on a collection of magic lantern slides. These are hand-colored glass slide copies from the 1840s. If any of your slides are black and white but have spots of color, don't clean those ones with anything other than a soft cloth. Oftentimes folks would paint on top of slides, especially with red and yellow, to make up for the fact that color photography wasn't invented until 1907 and wasn't widely commercially available until around 1914. What is this piece of silver I found after my grandfather passed away in a random box? About 1 by 2 inches. I was always curious what this was. It has a rampant lion with GB or BG shield, and the back is completely blank with nothing on it. Any ideas? Please tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.